to be changed.
And if enough people are organized in the way that you said,
exactly.
in a party or in whatever other formation, that requires new formations, articulating new ideas. It all sounds great.
Yeah.
Then I look at a lot of the most popular websites today. They used to be called blogs. I'm not sure most of them qualify as blogs anymore. And I see a replication of some of the worst kind of tabloid journalism and the same demographic trends and patterns that we see in the media that we just rejected. So how do we help the new tools really be voices for new ideas and new populations and new ways of looking at things rather than just become tools of the same old power structures?
Right. Well, first of all, whenever a new medium comes along, average quality falls, right? How could it not? Because you're suddenly letting in all sorts of other actors. When the printing press spread in the late 1400s, right, the complaint was all of a sudden people are publishing trashy novels, which in fact they were, right? You got erotic fiction for the first time in any numbers. It came out of Venice, right, giving the Italians a reputation they still enjoy to this day. But the complaint about the spread of trashy literature missed the fact that becomes the experimental cauldron for the good stuff. So the way we, broadly speaking, for large values of we, take these tools and use them has so much to do with whether or not we are trying to suppress the negative effects or support the positive ones. Because suppressing the negative effects, it's like trying to drain a swamp. Forget it, right? People have more freedom, and with that freedom comes the freedom to use, potty words and all the rest of it. I mean, just the banal horror of the internet can be introduced to anybody on any given day with, a spare 5 minutes of wandering around YouTube. But it's also the tools that got us Barack Obama as president of the United States, right? There was a period in early 2007 where a bookie would not have taken your money if you wanted to bet on an African-American president, right? It would have pitied you. And the Will.i.am video came out in that period, among other things. And the name recognition and the idea that someone was using those tools, the same tools we use to watch kittens on a treadmill, suddenly are putting Obama's name in the center of the American consciousness. And the ability to think that it was possible was courtesy of the same tools that give us the banal stuff. So you can't ever... Right. Once a medium goes vulgar in all senses of that word, of the people, once a medium goes vulgar, as printing did after Gutenberg, there's no stopping the low quality stuff. Right. You will never get a professional group grooming the output again. But what you do get are people who say, "Hey, we could print a bunch of stuff about science." Right. I mean, chemistry literally could not exist in its current form without the printing press. Right. The printing press didn't cause the scientific revolution, but it sure accelerated it. And so we now have a set of tools that we can use as accelerants for positive creation of value by groups of people for themselves and for society as a whole. And it really comes down to who among the people who are affected by this medium are going to step forward and say, you know what, I'm not just going to participate, I'm going to lead. I'm going to launch this Wikipedia thing. I'm going to start an open source project. I'm going to create a political party that does more than just entertain people. I'm going to use the same tools of entertainment that are lying around, but I'm going to press this into service for higher social goals. Nothing gets us out of that, the need for that kind of vision.
Two things. I'd love to hear the thing you're most excited about. And secondly, I want to know whether your mother, a research librarian, is happy or sad that people go now to Wikipedia as their major sort of resource.
That's a very interesting question. My mother is basically happy about that. I'll take the first question, the second question first. She worked as a reference librarian in a university. And what she saw was that access to knowledge was an imperfect science in those days. She often joked that she should file books by color because students would come in and say, I need a sociology book. I think it's a green one. And so anything that gets people, if you want to look up, when the Crimean War was, or what does podcasting mean, or any of this, the millions of questions Wikipedia can answer, the fact that people have access to those answers now is a good thing. I think what she would I think what she wants, and it's funny, I'll ask her this next time I talk to her. So I'll put words in her mouth now. I think what she wants is for that to be a stepping stone to some kind of deeper involvement. It's still just an encyclopedia. We wouldn't take Wikipedia as the end of human knowledge any more than we would have taken Britannica as that. And so I think it is, again, down to us to turn Wikipedia into a kind of ladder of value.
15 seconds, the thing you're most excited about?
GitHub, which is a tool for coordinating open source projects. It is a social layer on top of programmer participation that I think is going to spread into all kinds of non-programmery environments.
All right. Clay Shirky, thank you so much. The actual hard copy book I do have here also, because I bought two, as people do. Here Comes Everybody is the book. It came out last year. You can get more information at our website, GRITtv.org. And as always, we're interested in your comments and your videos. Thanks.